One thing that I wanted to talk about before I finish up tonight, I want to have a conversation around money and a conversation around FSG and a conversation around the purse strings. I think it's fair to say that we've been rather restrained in the business that we've done over the past 3 or 4 windows. Our net spend overall hasn't been great, but I've never really bothered about that because we've done very good business with the business we've done and we've recouped a lot of money for the players that we've sold. But there seems to be this, and maybe it's just in my head, which is why I want to have this conversation. There seems to be this recurring theme of we'll be able to spend money next summer. That seems to, in my head, that just seems to be the story every summer. Last summer, we all understood it. We were maybe a little bit frustrated, but we understood it because, we were told we need to get the finances in place because we'd renewed so many senior players' contracts, given them improved contracts, paid out a lot in agents' fees. To me, I took that one on the chin. I understood it. We brought in Takumi Minamino in January. Sound, again, very good piece of business for very small money. But this summer was supposed to be the summer where we opened up the purse strings and we spent a little bit of money. Now, it's very hard to be critical because nobody could have foreseen the circumstances of what was going to unfold in the world. But again, the line seems to be that we're building to spend a lot of money or to spend money next summer. And I just don't want this to become a recurring theme. And I don't know if in my head this is an easy get out of jail free card for the owners not to spend money, or I don't know if I'm making too much out of it, which is why I'd love to know your thoughts. Now, I want to caveat everything I've just said by saying I don't have any ill feelings towards our owners. In fact, I think we have very good owners at this football club who have done a lot of great stuff, improved the stadium, built us a new training ground, got us the best manager in the world, delivered us the Holy Grail, and for all that stuff and a lot more, I and many other Liverpool fans would be forever grateful. I understand the theory about working working within your means, but we have brought in a lot of money, We've brought in a lot of money from Champions League money, from television money, from Premier League money, from sales. And yes, we reinvest a lot of our sales money back into buying other players, but to me, here we have a really high wage bill, and I wonder to myself, is it because we've a lot of players on X amount of money because we've got nobody on 350, 400 grand a week? So we must then have a lot of players on 100 grand plus. And those players have earned those contracts, I suppose, because, they've delivered the goods. But I just wonder, is this going to be a recurring theme? If this pandemic hadn't hit the world, would we be getting players this summer? Maybe I'm being a bit cynical. I just love to know your opinion on it because sometimes these things go on in my head and I just love to get different perspectives on things. So again, please do let me know what you think with regards to the L finances. What have we got? Lens-based media said has to be controlled care for local residents when opening up with 30% crowds because of, I don't even want to say the word, but you know what I'm talking about. I think it's safer for locals to go first, not anti-wall or day tripper, just thinking of the Anfield population. I think that's reasonable enough, mate. I genuinely do. When we're being advised at this moment in time to keep travel to a minimum and certain areas might have lockdowns and those lockdowns might be done for certain regions of the country, I completely understand where you're coming from, and I don't think that is and I don't think anti-wall as you called it or anything, so I understand where you're coming from on that one. Andy Kirkman said, Craig, we have until October the 5th, but I get what you're saying. It feels deflating so far in the transfer window. And as I said, mate, and I didn't say it just there, but I've said it in previous streams, I am willing to sit back and wait to see how the window unfolds, because if nobody's spending money, because we're all in the same boat with finances, then okay. But if United were to go out and get Sancho and Chelsea continued on spending and brought in Kai Havertz and maybe a couple of other players, and you see other clubs maybe strengthening, then you wonder, why haven't we got money to spend? But I am willing to give the window and see how it unfolds. Absolutely, I think that's very fair. Mal Content says fourth highest wage bill, which again does kind of baffle me a bit, because it must be that we've a lot of players on what I would call a reasonable amount of money, somewhere between 100 and 200 grand. Because we certainly know we've got nobody up in the 300-400 grands. We've no Alexis Sanchez, no Mesut Ozils, no David De Gea's at the club with regards to wages.